Ain't good. Interesting. I would have hands on your side.
All right, we'll call our meeting to order. It's good to see everyone tonight. Thank you for being here. And the first thing we do is pledge allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we start with our department reports. I don't see anyone in here tonight that hasn't been here before, I don't think. Anyway, notice any time later in the meeting, we have an area for public comments, so the public gets a chance to speak. We'll start with our department reports. Police Department. Chief Ferguson, you got anything you need to bring up? The council's got your report, but you got anything you need to bring up other than that?
No.
All good?
Yeah, we're good.
Our cadet doing well?
He had a test last week and had one of the highest, if not the highest, of the class.
That's a good sign.
Kind of moving right along.
Good deal. Good deal. Council have any questions for Chief Ferguson? All good? We'll move on to code enforcement. Have you got any questions about the code enforcement documents you have before you, any of the council? I'll try to answer if I can. I was gone last week, so my latest update's about a week old. All right. Hearing no questions there, we'll move on to the fire department. Chief?
Well, sir, it's been a busy year so far. I know we just finished up fiscal year. We do have some maintenance out being done to some vehicles right now. You'll notice in your expense report and everything, there's some bills there for truck repairs, new tires, things like that, trying to get our trucks up to date. Our engine 30 is currently in the shop at this time. We're waiting on some fuel lines. We had some fuel leaks and stuff, so that's kind of where we're at now. That truck should be back in service, hopefully, by the end of the week anyway. To date, as far as overall fire department rule in the city, just kind of give you an idea of the volume. So far, we've been dispatched to 277 different calls this year from January 1 to now.
6 months worth.
6 months worth, 6.5 months, we're at 277 calls already. So we're pretty busy in that regard. The city aspect of it, not quite as much as rural, but in overall, just kind of give you an idea of what volume we're running. Granted, a lot of those are medicals, but just an idea where we're at. We've been involved in the fair that happened this past month. We went down for, they called it cranes or cruisers this year. It was kind of a touch a truck type thing. We took our ladder truck down, some apparatus down just for kids to see, and got that involved the opening day of the fair. And then we also worked events during the fair, helping out with the fair board as far as EMS services and everything for that. So we've been kind of involved in all that. I do have an event coming up on the 23rd of this month. There is a group of bicycle riders coming through. It's called Brotherhood. They do a memorial ride for fallen firefighters and police officers and things. They do like a 400-mile ride across the state. They're going to be in our area on the 23rd. They've called and asked if they could use our fire station as a rest point. So they're going to leave Russellville at like 1, should be here at 2. I encourage anyone that can be there. It's kind of a town event type thing. We'll get the ladder truck out and fly a flag and all that good stuff. They have a group that comes with them that provides all of their refreshments and liaison type person in front. So they'll have all that put together. They just want to use our facility for a rest stop. They encourage all the city council, anybody else in the county, I'll be contacting the other departments. If any other departments in the county would like to come and be a part of that, we invite them to come to that also. But that's coming up on the 23rd. So I encourage anybody that wants to be involved in that to do so. So other than that, we're moving along with repairs, ordering equipment, different things, and I appreciate the council members and everything helping us along with funding us and getting things done. And, on a short note, we'd like to thank Miss Maggie for her assistance with the fire department, all the men and women. Appreciate all her help over the years, and we're gonna miss her, but I know we're in good hands with the other young ladies taking over her spot. So thank you, Maggie, for helping us out all along.
You're welcome. I just sent in your state aid for this year last week, so you're welcome again.
Well, I had it later in the agenda to tell everyone out here that Maggie had accepted a role at Western, and as bad as we hate to see her leave, we want to see her be successful wherever she wants to be successful at. And I know she will be. And I'll go ahead and make my statements now, and Maggie, you can say things if you want to. So Jay brought it up, we'll go ahead and have that. Right?
Sorry.
Anyway, Maggie done a great job for us. And she was here as utility clerk while she was finishing her master's degree. Did that online, and she's been here for, I can't remember how many years now altogether.
A little over six-ish.
Close to 6, I think, altogether. She was gone for a little while, but in between there. But then she was back. But she's taken a new role at Western, and we're very proud for her. And we wish her all the best. And just, don't be a stranger, right? But
I'll be around.
okay, we got a little cake to celebrate Maggie here after the thing. The ladies here in the office have put that together. So we encourage everybody to have a piece of cake and tell any bad stories about Maggie that you have. We encourage that. The good ones I already know about. I'd like to hear some bad ones. But, Maggie, you got anything that you'd like to say, or counsel, do you got anything that you'd like to say while we're done?
She's done a great job. Great job.
I worked with Maggie for years, before she became clerk and all that. And she's just really good girl.
I'm gonna find it. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Rhoda. Thank you, Travis. I love being here. I love this community. I'm from this community. Like I said, I'll be around. It's just a transition job, not a abandonment of my community. I still want to serve the community, just in a different way.
I'd like to say too, Maggie, we happy that had you. Y'all set the tone here. When we walk in, you can come in with people that have a delightful look, sunshine early in the morning. That was, y'all always get personalities. I'm grateful for all of y'all guys. And it's rare, matter of fact, to have people that it's real pleasant to be with them every day. Pay your bills and y'all laughing and giggling and stuff. It feels good to have people of that order. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Anybody else have anything they'd like to say?
Just want to wish you the best and hate to lose you, but it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure to work with you, and I want to especially thank you for anytime I had a question or if I needed a reservation or check on me, you are always there, so I appreciate all you do.
You're so welcome.
Well, Maggie, it's been a pleasure to work with these last 5, 6 years, whatever it's been. Anytime you call down here, you get a good answer. You always answer the phone cheerfully. You're happy to help. It's just been a pleasure. Congratulations on your promotion. Wish you the best. I know you'll do great whatever you do.
So kind. Thank you guys.
Say now, do you still wanna go?
I offered to buy her a cake next week if she'd stay.
Oh, man. Maggie, we appreciate you. I think you gathered that from the group. We wish you the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And again, we're gonna have some cake in a little while and share Maggie's stories. I'll tell the ones from when she was a baby. Thank you again. All right. Chief, you got anything else you need to share on fire?
What time did you say was everyone come through?
2 o'clock is when they're gonna be here, so we'll need, get the bay cleaned up, have some things set up, everything for that, so.
It's July the 23rd at 2 o'clock.
Is what time they expect to be in town.
So
They're
people show up.
expecting, I think they've got 52 bicycle riders that'll be coming through. I think they've asked about BJ being an escort through our part of the county. State police is gonna be escorting them through across their whole ride and all, but, I've been speaking with the gentleman that's coordinating all this, and he's got things set up, asking about county sheriff being involved, other fire departments if they want to be involved, so we're inviting all those people to be a part of this, but they are going to be riding from Russellville to Bowling Green, and they was needing a stop for a break point in the middle, and that's how they contacted us.
So do you know if they have a flyer?
I've asked for if they have a flyer like that. He sent me some links to some YouTube videos of what they do and typically, so I can, share that with anybody that would like to look at YouTube videos. But, I have not received a flyer of such right now, so I'd like to get that so I can probably promote it a little bit over the next few days to try to get some people in attendance for, seeing them come through town.
Also, would you give the details on your fundraiser for August the 1st? I don't have that in front of me.
For August the 1st, yes, glad you mentioned that. Fundraiser is August 1st, our fish fry at Russellville at the extension office. We've got that big event coming up. That's a big money-making event for our department, as everything that we do is expensive. Truck repairs, equipment, tools. We've just spent a lot of money on new fire hose, and when you see the expense of what all this stuff costs to keep a fire department alive, it's amazing how much more things cost than what people realize. But that event is coming up on August the 1st at Russellville. We have a very good fish fry. Everyone always compliments us on how well our fish taste, and also it'll be an auction and all that stuff involved in that. So we've got some giveaways and auction things with that. So please attend that if at all possible.
What time does it start?
It starts at 5, I think, 5:30. There's flyers out there. We have it advertised on our Facebook page, and several of the firefighters have it on their personal pages trying to get the word out on that.
Is that shareable? Have you got it out there where we can all share?
Should be, yes.
Okay. All right. Ron was good about sharing it with tourism, and I share it from there.
There you go. Thank you, Ron.
I've got one thing on the fire department, and you and I talked about this once earlier. Someone brought up about that dip coming out of the door at
Yes.
the fire hall.
I forget who it was. Someone mentioned to me the other day. Was it Randy that talked to you about it, I think?
I think it was Randy. He
Yeah.
just want to talk to me about it.
The drainage ditch in front of the main doors coming out on the main street is a pretty good dip there when you back the trucks in, and all the water tanks and stuff sloshes pretty hard. I think he was inquiring about, is there some way we could put some type of steel grating or something over it to transition that so it didn't have that big dip in it. And that's just something we may need to look at, if that's a feasible thing,
I
or,
think that's what's caught our doors a couple times where it tilts.
yeah.
It puts a little ding in that side, that aluminum panel there.
If you don't come out of the bay until you get your rear tires into that dip and come up on the road, which puts your front end all the way on this side of the street into the other side to make your turn, it will rock that truck hard enough that the top part of the body on the back of the cab can contact if you're not real square with the building. So it's one of them things, if we could design something that would anchor down there that wouldn't impede the rainwater flow into the storm drain that's right in front of the door. It would need some type of a heavy grading or something there to transition that dip.
Well, let me get somebody to look at that knows more about the weight capacities and that type of thing than
Right.
I do. I'll get somebody to look at that.
Yeah, we don't wanna create something that's gonna catch trash and block up the storm drain there or.
Backing up into the firewall, I mean, you know, the drainage.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, actually, he asked me about it last month, and I forgot. I didn't write it down, I forgot. I told him about it.
Yeah.
But, anyway, that's why we're talking about it.
It's been brought up before, in our meetings and things, but, something we need to take a look at, see if it's something that might be doable to smooth out that transition a little bit.
I'm sitting here thinking that's a fairly deep little valley.
Yeah,
It's more wide than it is deep, so.
Yeah, it's
I'm not sure
convoluted.
exactly how to fix it, but we'll take a look at it. I'll get somebody to look at it.
Where's our drain? Is it after the fire?
Well, you know, there's one right after that, if I
There's
remember
technically
correctly.
one
One
right
before.
in front of the base.
Not in front of the base.
There's one right in front of the bay, and then there's one up there in the alley between
Yes.
that building and James Wayne's building.
Yes.
There's a drain right there as well, so. But yeah, there's one right in front of the far bay down there.
Yes.
Okay, we'll get a look at it. Anything else? For the council on fire department or anything else? All right. That brings us to water and sewer. On water again, I think it had several taps this month, and on, the project, the water project that we got funded for and approval for, the design work's still ongoing. Chris Wilcox for the engineering is doing the design work now as we speak. And this is a little bit of an unusual project because it has lead service line money in it that we're not accustomed to doing, right? And that actually has to do with some of the customer line on the other side of the meter going to the house. So this will be a learning experience for us as well. Some of that money is to satisfy the federal requirements for that lead service inventory. And this is the first one we've done like that with lead service money involved in it. As a matter of fact, not many people in Kentucky have. Louisville has, and one other city has done a project, and then us. So it's got, the Division of Waters have a little trouble explaining what we need because they don't, you know what I mean, it's new to them as well. So bear with us as we do that. And we anticipate, we being Chris Wilcox, myself, and the Division of Water, anticipate maybe being able to go out to bids on that project sometime in the early fall. So we're hoping to make that deadline in September, sometime in September, hopefully. I'm not sure, but either way, that money's allocated and funding's allocated. That's the one that we discussed in the workshop. I think it's about $1,450,000 water line project from here, out here, all the way out to Rector Avenue, and then some additional streets were added to that, depending on what the cost is, right? How many we can do. So we have some more in the scope. We'll just, however it bids out, we'll do as many as we can with the money we have. Any questions on that? What we're at on that? As far as the sewer, everything's running good. Everything's in good shape. Running well. And they're doing some taps too for new houses and new apartment buildings. I think they about got caught up. I think they might have one more tap, maybe on the sewer out on Peterson, I believe. One house out there about got caught up. else have any of the council have any questions on water and sewer? All right, streets and sidewalks. We're just getting into this fiscal year, so we'll see how all that works out, right? So, but the sidewalks, we've been trimming some trees and doing a few things in between rain showers on sidewalks, and then we've got about 10 spots in streets and sidewalks, 11 spots in streets and sidewalks scheduled for repair. You know, there's small areas that got damaged, and then we cut a few areas too, you know, put water lines in, taps, and different things, you know, that need to be repaired. They're scattered out, which makes it a lot worse, a lot more difficult, you know, small spots everywhere, you know, it's a little more difficult than one big spot to pour concrete in, so we're working on it.
Mike, there's one area, I don't know if it's on your list, but where they redone the intersection up here at Wilson Avenue and Main Street, where they transitioned all that new concrete work and all up on that big roundabout turn.
Yeah.
The sidewalk going into Pierce Church, they brought all those different angles and lines all together right dead in front of the sidewalk that goes into the church. And I'm afraid it's gonna be a trip hazard for, you know, the elderly ladies and gentlemen that come into the church. It's just, you've got a curve here and a transition there and an old sidewalk, and it all lands right dead in front of the sidewalk that goes into the door. It was, I just think it was poor placement for the state to put all that transition at that spot, right where everybody walks.
Is that where you go in that side door?
Yes, sir.
Where the handicap
Yes.
lift is and all that?
Yes.
Okay.
There's also a spot right up from that table in front of the runhouse, kind of,
Do what?
the house that belongs to the church behind it. There's a spot in the sidewalk right there in front of that house, hey, that's really big, pretty big old hole.
All right. We'll get a look at that one too while we're doing
Okay.
Mayor, it's not a question, I just want to thank you all that bush you got trimmed back at sunset.
it. Yes, sir.
Went through there, cleared up a lot of things where it's not obstruction there. Closing out there.
She was very cooperative. The lady that lives there, she was very nice about it, and she said she understood. So I'll give her credit, you know, she was very cooperative.
Right.
In getting that cut back. And that, you're right, I didn't know it till actually Peggy called me that day. I came over and looked, and then I was going to my mom's. I asked her about it, she said, yeah, I can't hardly see out that way. I just never thought about it until y'all told me, and so we've got up with her, and she's good. She's real nice.
You don't realize how much obstruction is there until it's not there.
Yeah,
The bushes in front of the church, for example, you know, we cut them all back so now people can see there too.
it really is a lot better looking to the left coming out of there now.
Yeah.
I appreciate the church being so cooperative too. They were very cooperative about that. So we've had a lot of good folks around here that can see the need.
I've got, somebody asked me about, on Maple Street, why is Maple Street being mowed between the street and the sidewalk on the entrance of town, and it's not being done anywhere else? I see it personnel.
On the entrance side?
They just said on, well, like down here near the, sewer plant.
The people that, live over there won't mow across there. It's not their property. It's city property and railroad property. It's not the private property of the people. From like where Caldwell is on down, we mow that just because we gotta mow our little strip anyway. We mow on over to the railroad edge. Now up there, like at my house, pretty much everybody mows across the street. You know, there's a little strip across the street by the railroad ditch. Everybody that I know of down through there, from College Street all the way to Caldwell, that lives down through there, mows across the street from their house. But down at Caldwell, you know, I've never asked those people to mow across from their house. They might if I asked them, you know, but they just never have. And the guys, when they're down there mowing the sewer plant, they'll just zip down through there and mow it real quick.
Well, they said they see people down there mowing.
Yeah.
Between the street and,
In the
railroad track. And
Well, that's,
down there on Maple, and she said it wasn't done anywhere else in town, so she just wondered.
well, and she's right, we don't mow private, we don't mow private stuff, but, we mow our right of ways when other people don't, basically, I guess is the way I'm trying to say that. But luckily for us, a lot of people are helping us with that, like, we mow ours across from, that's not really our private property either, but most people mow it over there because it's right in front of their house, right? But, and I think those people, to credit those people down on the lower end of Maple there, I've never asked them to mow across there, maybe I need to stop, just ask them if they'll do it when they're mowing their yard, they might do it, I don't know, but most everybody else will do their mows across there.
Also, it's been brought up about mowing out here at the Overhead Bridge. Why are they mowing out there on the state highway?
Because the state don't keep it good enough.
Just looks better for the county.
When you come into town, most people don't know that's a state highway, they think it's a city. And when you come into town, you see trash or weeds growing up all under the guardrail, it gives people a bad impression of our city. And Joe Plunk helps us with a lot of stuff, so I figured at least we can do is just spray a little bit out there and pick up a little trash every now and then and mow a little bit. Again, public property, but it is not in the city limits, that's correct. They are correct. It's not in the city limits.
It did ask.
Now, the state will mow it a couple of times a year, we don't have to, but in between those times, we try to.
Looks better.
It's all about aesthetics for me and we do the same thing out at this entrance out here. It's state as well, but we try to keep it knocked down. We don't mow it like a yard, but we take the bush hog out there, knock it down a little bit and make sure. Then the state will mow it a couple of times during the year, and we don't have to, but then in between those times, we'll try to knock it down. And then down 68, coming into town, that's still state highway right away, but we're all the way back.
Aesthetics is important when you first come into town, somewhere that,
Think about it, that's what the first thing people are gonna say is it's a bunch of trash and weeds growing up. That's the way they're gonna think about us, you know what I mean, that's just the way it is. And, it's just human nature, for them to think that.
That's all
All
I
right.
give them feedback.
I don't
That's
know.
kind of what I said, but I told them, they asked me to ask, so.
And I don't have a better answer than that, that's the reason we do it. To me, it just got to looking so bad, I couldn't stand it anymore,
Makes sense.
I just couldn't stand it anymore. When I asked Joe Plunk about it, he said, yeah, how about it? I think he was very happy about it. So they help us a lot too. I've called them at different times, it's kind of a partnership, with that. Anything else on streets and sidewalks?
Does the maintenance department have a trailer all over Mobile?
I'm sorry?
Do they drive them?
The mowers?
Yeah.
Usually we mow our way out, when we're trying to get somewhere now. The mowers don't go very far, the bush hog does, but the mowers just go right here in town. I mean, it's not very far at all. But like when we're going to the sewer plant, we'll mow, the new sewer plant, we'll mow over there across there and Short Maple, it's just right there, Then they'll come back up this way and then go to the old sewer plant, which is, you just about, unless you're gonna trailer them very far, you know what I mean, you just about run them up and down the road like a squid.
I think what they were talking about when they asked me about was weed eaters. The people, the person who was out there, jail people, was weed eaters and stuff, so. I think that's what they was talking about. Out here on the guardrails and stuff outside.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we try to keep them sprayed, but I'll be honest with you, this year's been so rough, keeping it sprayed.
Yeah.
is the rain. It's just been raining so much every time James get ready to spray. Or, you know, it was raining. But it's been a rough year this year, so we've had to weed eat a little bit more. But most of the times, if we get it sprayed down, like midsummer, like right now, we wouldn't have to weed eat anymore out there at all. It would all be, you know, just sprayed down, and the fence rows and everything, and the guardrail would be sprayed down. We have to worry about it. But this year's been kind of an odd year. I'm not gonna deny that. It's been an odd year. We've had to do a little things a little bit different than what we normally do. Any other questions on the streets and sidewalk? All right, that brings us to the park. It has been getting an enormous amount of use. I mean, enormous. It's looking good down there. The guys are doing a good job keeping it. It's really looking nice. Our four swings are up, but we haven't done a little work on a few of them. They came in with hooks, yes, hooks. And it's got a wide enough opening where they want you to be able to adjust your chain for your height and all that. Well, unfortunately, we got some kids who like to swing pretty big and bounce and carry on. When they do, it's coming loose, right? Just bouncing out of those hooks. So, David Dillahay's gonna take care of that and compress those hooks a little bit for us and fix that problem. So, he's in the process of getting that, hopefully next couple of days.
I've got lots of compliments for this one spot.
I've sent two of them, sit there by the creek, it's really nice.
I'll buy there one day and I was like, we take down here just for this.
Yeah, it's really nice. Again, aesthetically pleasing, right?
I've got a question. We know we talked one time about putting lights on the bridge.
Uh-huh.
And, I talked to James about 2 or 3 weeks ago. He said he could get solar panel for about $100.
He went ahead, he told me about that, and we went ahead and ordered two. And just to maybe put one on each side and see what it looks like. And then we could get a few more if it works, you know, maybe put 2 or 3 on each side, you know, to make it nice there.
Okay.
Make it look good too.
He was gonna try to do it before we had the fireworks, but it rained so much.
Yeah,
Didn't quite make it.
yeah. Would it be possible to, it's just suggestion, on some of the shelters in different places, put a few lights around it?
Well, that's kind of what we were testing these for, so that we wouldn't have to do much wiring. Kind of see if they're gonna stay on at least most of the night. You know what I mean? If they'll charge up enough to stay on most of the night. So we're gonna use your idea for the bridge and test those lights. If they work, they're cheap enough, we can kind of use them around on some of the shelters, like over at the dog park. That would be nice. There's no power over there for that, you know, but that'd be nice to have a couple of those over there for those
Oh,
folks.
yeah.
Well, with the dogs and the gazebo, talk about that one. So there's some other places we can use them if they work out, right?
I just think that would just add so much to the park.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of compliments on it. And, swing, and, my brother and sister, they went down one afternoon and just sat there for a while. And it was a breeze, and they enjoyed it.
It's really pretty right there.
It is.
Anything else on the park? Like I said, it's getting a lot of use right now.
Yes,
They've done a good job keeping it up.
they're on the safety wrapping around the light pole playground.
You know, that got ordered, I think, but I'm not sure what the date is. I'll have to find out tomorrow. I can let you know, but I'll have to find out. I'm not sure. Somehow that thing got back ordered. I'm not sure what happened. We ordered 2 of them, I think. I'll find out. Anything else on the park? I have to write stuff down, I won't forget. All right, that brings us to tourism. tourism director to give us an update.
So unfortunately, we had to cancel Tyrone because of the weather Saturday, but he is rescheduled for September the 26th. So September we'll have 2 shows instead of 1, and that'll be a pretty big month. It's a busy one. But this upcoming Saturday is the Bouncy Palooza. So we're gonna have 5 bouncies and the funnel cannon going. It's absolutely free. So they can come and just have a blast. The only thing you'll have to pay for is the food truck. And it's gonna be dog bobbers, it's gonna be there for dog kids, like hot dogs. But yeah, let's hope there's no rain. Of course, they're calling for it, so just keep up with the page. We'll let you know how the weather is, but as of right now, it is, I think it starts at 4 o'clock Saturday. Like I said, it's absolutely free, so bring your kids and anybody else that wants to have fun, and we'll make a day of it. And then next month is our annual festival, the Dog Days of Summer. We have adjusted the date on it this year, so we wouldn't interfere with so many things. So we knew the fire department had a fundraiser, and there's always the 8th of August that draws a lot of people from out of town. So we waited the next weekend, we're gonna do it the 3rd Saturday instead of the 2nd. The bow run will be on a Friday, the 14th, and pre-registration ends at the 31st of July. It's $30 if you pre-register, and $35 if you register after that date. We encourage you to wear glow in the dark clothes. We'll have it all figured out with where you'll glow and the black lights and all that. And the Dog Days Festival will be that Saturday, and it will start at 3 in the afternoon, so it's not quite so hot. We'll have the standard stuff. We'll have a carnival rides for the kids, bouncy, silent auction. We're going to do a raffle. We'll have the kids parade, and then no deposit band will be there that evening. So again, just watch the page and follow it, and you'll see everything we have coming up. Keep everything fun and enjoyable for the rest of the year. We all will say that we're having a meeting tomorrow here at 6. We'll be discussing Dog Days of Summer tomorrow. We always need volunteers. So, you know, if you got extra time on your hand, we will gladly find you something to do. Just reach out and contact us on the Facebook page.
Thank you, Bonnie. And also on the tourism Facebook page, she's always got an updated schedule of events. Keeps that kind of current on there, so we encourage everybody out there listening to look at the tourism Facebook page on the tourism. Any questions on any of the tourism stuff from the council? All right, that brings us to economic development. We've got a first reading of our annexation orders for part of the Halls Prairie property that there is a development property. We've got a first reading of that tonight on down the list. So we'll be dealing with that. And there's several projects being talked about as far as residential projects around the edges of town and things. So when they come to fruition, I'll be bringing those to the council's attention. Some of them may require us to deal with, you know, maybe not. Some of it's already in the city, you know, so you never know what's coming up, right? Is there any more questions on anything economic development related? I'll be going Frankfurt probably, I don't know, the next couple of weeks to meet with the Department of Local Government about the line item funding we got for our development and make sure we got our ducks in a row, because that money was allocated this budget year and it started July 1, so, you know, but I want to make sure we got all of our ducks in a row and doing things correctly, paperwork wise and all that, so I'll be going up there and visiting with those folks for sometime in the next couple of weeks. Anything else on economic development from the council? All right, that brings us to the senior center. You got a thing in your packet from Sarah. Some of those issues she listed with the building we've addressed, and Some of them we're gonna address a little at a time. The light bulbs that are out there, just a few of them. It requires us to set up scaffolding and some other things down there to address the height of it. So we usually wait till there's more than just a few out, you know, 'cause there's all kinds of light in that building. But there's only a few out right now. It's a pretty big job to set up just for a few bulbs, you know, so we try to wait till there's more than that out. But that little piece of the paneling down there, it's where a couple of them come loose, those wood panels is all it is, so. I think James got that on his list to address, so. Does anybody have any questions on that?
Are we in the works of looking at some counters, countertops?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I hadn't got quotes from anybody that I think, one person I got a quote from, and then they backed out of the quote. They said, I don't know, they just called and said they didn't want to do that. Anyway, but I was gonna get one from Davenport, which I think put them in originally, if I remember right. And then get a quote from them, and then Home Depot has a pretty good system, and it's one-stop shopping. You can buy them there, and you also, they do install as well, and then just like you, our cabinet shop, you know, come do it, so.
Are you thinking of that going back to what you got, or maybe rent it last long?
I was gonna get to two or three options, let the council talk about it, because it's gonna be a big price difference, you know, in some of those options. What we have now is a fairly inexpensive option, and hadn't lasted all that with, you know what I mean, so. It gets a lot of use down there, and I don't wanna say abuse, but people aren't gonna treat them as kindly as they would in their own home, let's just put it that way, you know. And there's an issue where the dishwasher is, I think it's been generating a lot of steam and different things where, that's the worst part, I think, if I run that dishwasher, so. There's obviously an issue there we need to address, that didn't get addressed, you know, in the original construction, so. There's some issues like that I think we need to address when we put on. But I was gonna try and get at least those two quotes, local.
If you need some help, so we don't know.
I appreciate that, thank you. The Home Depot thing, I just found out about that, they're actually very competitive, what I hear, so. Does anyone else have any questions on the senior center, or anything else they'd like to add on the senior center?
Now, this isn't the senior center, but down there in that area, have you heard any more about the storm shelter?
Our prints are at the state, but they were last month, we just sent them, but they were there last month. Our prints are at the state, and they have not given final approval on that yet. Now, I talked to Donna Crockett and Brad, and she expects that anytime. She's been talking with them at the state level, and I think she expects those prints to be approved pretty quick. But they told me we'll send it up there in a 6 to 8 week backlog. I'm sitting there thinking, that sounds about right, you know what I mean? But so it's been about 6 weeks now, close to it, so since we set them up there. If you remember, we had to do a redesign and bring the building down a little bit in size because of the cost. But it's still a 1,500 square foot building. It still has all the bathrooms in it and the small kitchen area, so that we could use it as a shelter after the storm, right? You know, where like Red Cross can set up that and have several families staying there if they needed to for a few days at least, you know, after the storm. So. Or
It's only 1,500 square
ice
feet.
in or something like that.
It's only 1,500 square feet in the building. Is that the basement part of it, or just?
Yeah, it's all above ground.
It's all above ground?
But it's a concrete building,
1,500 square.
and it's got a concrete slab roof on it. It's like a big bunker, that's what it is, and it'll withstand 250 mile an hour or greater winds.
What's the price on that?
Don't know. We have a $600,000 grant,
Okay.
but the price came way up for a 2,500 square foot building. The price was way up there, so we had to get a redesign and lessen the building a little bit. Get the architect to bring the size down, so they were able to bring the size down on the heat and air, bring the size down on several other things, right? Ventilation, all that stuff. So it lessened it some, and then the size of the building too. That's still a shelter for, they require 5 square feet of open area per person for a storm shelter. Now, that's just like for a tornado, you know, you're in there 30 minutes, you know, standing there, right? 5 square feet's not much. So that's a 300 person storm shelter, basically 1,500 square. For 30, 45 minutes, you know.
1,500 square feet. But how many people can be in that?
300 if you use the numbers that they use and what we have as far as open area. But you're talking about 300 people standing
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
pretty close here, you know what I mean, for 30 minutes while a tornado comes over, you know, I mean, you're not talking about overnight or anything. But what we were talking about, like in our workshop, budget workshop, was you could have a building where you can have 300 people in there for 30 minutes during a storm that doesn't have anything else in it where you can use it for anything else. Or you can have a building that's got bathrooms in it and a small kitchenette where you can use it as a Red Cross center after a big ice storm or something, where people could come in and stay in cots if they needed to or whatever. And there's not one in the county. There's not another one in the county. So I think it's kind of important for us to maybe have one as we grow. So we're trying to get that Prince approved so that we can go out for bids and find out what that total cost is. I think it was you. Did you ask me what the cost was? Somebody did? You asked what the cost was. So we can go out for bids and find out what that cost is.
We're just thinking 1,500 square feet, and you said the bid, I mean, you gonna get as much as what, 600,000?
We got a $600,000 grant.
That's a whole lot.
That probably won't cover it.
It won't cut for 1,500 square feet?
Not this bunker, not the way it's gotta be built.
Okay.
It's a concrete bunker is what it is.
So we're paying for specifications instead of,
That's it.
okay.
That's it.
You also gotta pay a little extra for, because it's government grant.
Yeah.
You gotta pay a little money per trade.
And the heat and air ventilation has gotta be so much more extreme, simply because you're gonna have that many people in there, even if it's just for a little while. You have to have a certain amount of air circulating. It's kind of crazy, but.
I was just thinking just a regular building, 1,500 square feet, that was expensive, but a little small, 1,500 square feet.
I guess you have a generator supply or something.
Hope so. There's natural gas available out there at the senior
Yeah,
center.
that's something.
Hope we come around.
Natural gas generators, they're reliable.
That's the way to go for us, natural gas. Because it's right there. Anyway, as soon as they approve those plans, I'll get up to the council and let you know they've been approved. We can kind of move on from there. I think we've got all our ducks in a row other than that. We just need to move forward basis. Anything else on senior center or the safe room? All right, that brings us to the cemetery. Went out there today, and looks like Aaron's gonna have to mow between the rain showers. It's starting to need mowing, but not too bad yet. But it really looks nice. Looking good. As far as I know, there's no big issues from Laura, right? As far as I know.
Right. She's had several sales this month with lots, and it's been pretty busy out there lately.
Any questions from the council on the cemetery or statements or anything?
I did have someone say that they had put some flowers or something on the hooks and they disappeared.
We get calls every couple of weeks on it.
So y'all have been, that's something I said, pretty sorry, happened, something like that, but
It's been happening. I mean, unfortunately, there's one lady here in town, I won't mention names. I don't bet what she didn't tell me the exact truth. She had flowers stolen off of a headstone. She had a saddle, on top of the headstone, had flowers stolen. So this next time she put flowers on that headstone, she put one of those iPhone air tags in it. She traced it down to a cemetery in Edmonson County. And call the state police to go with her to get it. Anyway,
On those flowers, Mike, then pop away from, I know people are real sensitive about the cemetery. Can we give a kind of grace period and let those flowers be over there for a week or two before we?
what we do, we leave a week.
Give them, I mean, just, cause I've listened to some of those people say,
Yeah.
give them a grace period of some time.
We give a week to 10 days or until they look bad.
Yeah, until it's all looking bad and then do something.
Now, the artificial ones, we'll leave up to 10 days almost.
I mean, cause, I can understand
Now, there's people that'll call back 3 weeks later and say, what happened to my flowers? I was going out there to get them. 3 weeks is a long time for stuff to blow around that cemetery. You know, it's, it used to be a mess, and then it's not Aaron's fault, but he gets to mowing it up. You know what I mean? He can't get off and get every little flower petal, whatever. That stuff stays there forever. I mean, nothing plastic, you know, a lot of it.
Yeah.
So it stays there forever. So we usually give a week to 10 days. So that very seldom you'll ever see a flower removed from a new grave. I mean, you know,
Yes.
somebody just got buried. Because that's the only time we leave them on the ground, but we'll leave them a week, 10 days.
From what they said, it was a short, I mean, it wasn't like 2 weeks or anything like that,
It was stolen.
pretty positive it was stolen.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was
just
stolen.
blown off or got thrown away because it was
I'll be honest with you,
interrogated or anything.
it's more than that one that happens. I mean, it happens. At some point, you know, if it gets bad enough, we may have to put some cameras out there. I hate to.
We can put somebody back.
I'm sorry?
Do we have any lights out there for the gazebo? Is that, maybe we can throw up some of them two,
That
solar
gazebo, I thought about putting some in that gazebo anyway.
we got those two that we ordered, we can use.
Yeah, yeah. We might be able to put a pole, on any poles still. Trying to keep everything buried out there until we put nice poles up, you know. But we can try to maybe put some of those solar panels on the gazebo. But it's still, they just don't come in.
Is that not what, getting back to what we had here a year or so ago about putting lights on the cemetery, on the graves?
On graves.
We had a big issue with that.
Yeah.
And we
On
go,
graves, that's right.
we go putting lights on gazebos and stuff.
Well, this is like a big street light.
At some point, I mean, I figure we'll wanna put power out there underground and put Ballard lights down the little roads, you know what I mean, the little low lights, that type of thing, at some point. But that stuff's really expensive, and I think we got so much other stuff need to spend money on. I hadn't really asked the council to think about that, but you know what I mean? Y'all think about it, what we might do out there, what we could do.
I just thought maybe if you lit it up a little bit, maybe they wouldn't get out there and mess around.
Well, we
Enough.
might even have to put some cameras out there, solar power cameras.
Yeah, she got some, she's got some, they're charging.
Anyway, we might be able to put some of those out there at some point. Anybody else have anything on cemetery? All right. That brings us to, we've already talked about Maggie accepting a new position. And that brings us to internally, I think the council, I sent out a text to the council when all that occurred. The council, I'm gonna refresh everybody's memory, we have two, what is called non-elected officers in our city. Those non-elected officers are our police chief and our city clerk. And if we had a full-time fire department, our fire chief would be a non-elected officer, but that's not applicable to us. So what that requirement is for me to appoint someone, or the mayor to appoint someone, and then the council to ratify that appointment, if that makes sense to you. So, this is what I'm asking at this point, because I'm getting ready to ask Heather to do the financials, but before I do that, I would like for her to officially be our city clerk. So if you don't mind, I would entertain a motion from the council to ratify that appointment. And of course, at the same time, Lisa will be moving into the assistant city clerk's position, which doesn't require ratification, but I wanted y'all to know that.
I'll make a motion to ratify the.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion from the council? All right, roll call, please, city clerk.
Claude Tisdale,
Yes, ma'am.
Peggy Thomas,
Yes.
Rex Evans,
Yes.
Travis Fuller,
Yes.
Jeff Gregory,
Yes.
Rhonda Sullivan.
Yes.
Congratulations.
All right,
Yes.
thank you.
Right now, yes.
This kind of feel a little pretty bad. If you don't mind, I'll get you to read the financials at this point. I'll miss some. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm glad you. I missed the minutes of the June 8th, 2026 regular meeting. Has everyone had time to review those minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Claude Tisdale,
Yes, ma'am.
Peggy Thomas,
Yes.
Rex Evans,
Yes.
Travis Fuller,
Yes.
Jeff Gregory,
Yes.
Rhonda Sullivan.
Yes.
Now it's time for the financial report.
All right, y'all bear with me, it's the first one. So for our revenues in the general fund, our month to date was $16,817.31. Our year to date was $1,471,883.79, which makes up 121.87% of our budget. The citywide totals is the month to date is $18,864.06. The year to date is $1,570,092.74, making up 113.66% of our budget. The water sewer revenues month to date is $163,967.18. The year to date is $1,558,706.04, which makes up 86.38% of the budget. Our expenses for the general fund month to date is $114,835.19. The year to date is $1,740,145.47, with a budget remaining of $280,415.34. The citywide total month to date expenses is $115,666.63. The year to date is $1,864,477.16. The remaining budget is $326,433.65. The water sewer month to date expense is $119,500.96. The year to date is $1,570,085.33, with a budget remaining of $600,628.01. So the cash balances for the city account is $1,548,845.64. The water sewer account is $1,356,401.01. And the total for all accounts is $2,905,246.65.
All right, any questions from the council on that? All right, that brings us to the bills payable. And you had a chance to look at those. Entertain a motion to.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on it? Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Claude Tisdale,
Yes, ma'am.
Peggy Thomas,
Yes.
Rex Evans,
Yes.
Travis Fuller,
Yes.
Jeff Gregory,
Yes.
Rhonda Sullivan.
Yes.
That brings us to the ordinances, which we have two. And our city council, the Honorable Elizabeth Teal, take care of that for us.
First, we have first reading of ordinance 2026-03 that was discussed at last month's meeting, and ordinance amending ordinance 2011-02 in chapter 32 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Auburn, Kentucky, and establishing a regular day and time for monthly meetings of the City Council. Whereas the city of Auburn, Kentucky has previously enacted ordinance 2011-02, said ordinance set regular monthly meeting of the Auburn City Council. Whereas said ordinance was codified in the city of Auburn Code of Ordinances, Chapter 32. Whereas pursuant to KRS 61820, the City Council of the City of Auburn, Kentucky has determined the most advantageous time of day for the month for meeting. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council, by the City of Auburn, that the City of Auburn Code of Ordinances, Chapter 32 is hereby amended as follows. And then the subsection 3221 regarding meetings, you'll see it says regular meetings of the council shall be and the amendment would be changing from second to third Monday of each month at 6 p.m. at City Hall for the purpose of conducting the business of the city by the duly elected members of the city legislative body, commonly called the City Council of the City of Auburn, along with the mayor. All other elected or appointed city officers are invited to said meetings and shall attend when specifically requested. Public citizens and news media are invited to attend said meetings. Special call meetings may be held pursuant to KRS 618-2030. All ordinances in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed. The ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its adoption and publication as provided by law.
All right, this is the first reading, so it doesn't require action. If there's any discussion on the council's part, bring it up now.
When would you start it?
You know, after the publication, which will be sometime after next month's meeting, you know, and second reading and the publication after that. You guys could decide if you want to stick it out there a couple of months for the public to review before you change that date. You can, but I think it's up to the council. If you want to give the public a little more time, or you quite possibly could do the September meeting.
I was saying September, we're gonna be in.
You'd like to do the September meeting?
No, I said the September one, if we move to the third month, we will be in Shannon.
Let's just do October.
It's anytime after publication, right? Am I right?
Yeah, that's right.
And then give it everyone a little time, if that's what you want to do.
You can put in your publication starting.
Well, the publication is supposed to be a summary of the ordinance. What I would say is if, I guess in my thinking, if you all would have started in October, we'll have a second reading next month, but we might delay the publication a little bit to where the timing would be such that October would be the time that it would start, and you all can publicize that however you want to.
Well, we can put it on our Facebook page and then share that, and also I could get it on the radio, you know, different ways that we can get that word out, plus the publication of the papers. Is everyone in agreement with that? Just try to shoot for the October timeframe? Okay. We'll keep pushing forward like we're doing now. Next month we'll have second reading.
Okay, move on to first reading of ordinance 2604. An ordinance annexing into the city of Auburn, Kentucky, certain real property owned by the city of Auburn, Kentucky, and the Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, containing approximately 78.192 acres. This is what the mayor was referencing, being the annexation of the Halls Prairie, what we refer to it as property. Whereas the city of Auburn, Kentucky, and the Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet are owners of certain real property containing approximately 78.192 acres that is not currently within the city limit boundaries of the city of Auburn. It's more particularly described in the legal description of Surveyor Austin Clark of McGee Engineering attached here too. Whereas the property owners have requested and consented to the annexation of said property by and to the city of Auburn, as demonstrated and ratified by the consents of annexation attached here too. Whereas the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet holds a right-of-way upon said property and has issued its agreement and consent to the annexation of said property by and to the city of Auburn, Kentucky, as demonstrated on the letter from Chief District Engineer, District 3, Joe Plunk, attached here too. Whereas the City Council, on behalf of the city of Auburn, deems said annexation as beneficial to the city and citizens, and that all legal requirements have been met in order to proceed with said annexation. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council and for the City of Auburn, Kentucky as follows. The consents to annexation attached hereto as exhibits B and C meet all legal requirements as set forth in KRS 81A 412. is hereby accepted and agreed to by the city of Auburn. The 78.192 acres, more particularly described in Exhibit A attached hereto, is hereby annexed by and into the city of Auburn, Kentucky. Exhibit D attached hereto is a zoning delineation plat, setting forth the zoning designations for the property to be annexed. Specifically, 59.774 acres shall be zoned agricultural, 13 acres shall be zoned industrial, 5.25 acres shall be zoned B2 commercial. In the event any provision of this ordinance is invalid for any reason such as validity shall not affect any other provisions, this ordinance shall become effective upon its passage and publication according to law. And then, obviously, there are attached the exhibits that set this forth off the legal description of the entire property, the plat that shows the entire property, the transportation cabinets, letter of consent, where they have the right of way and they are consenting to it becoming a part of the city. The city consent as the owner of the entirety of the property that's signed by the mayor. And then there is, let's see. Well, attached to that is do we not have the zoning?
Well.
That one might not have got.
That's map right here.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So, the last page, the legal description and the full plat's attached again to the consent, because it's referenced in that document. But then the very last page, you'll see where it has 3 different, zoning delineations, where the large part being proposed A, agricultural, and then proposed I, industrial, and then in the very front, the proposed B2 commercial. That we have separate descriptions for each of those so that they can be initially zoned separately for the purposes that the city is considering.
The agricultural designation was picked because it has exceptions to a property or certain exceptions in it that we could use. Plus, once we get it cleaned up, it may be several years before money comes available to do something with, and we can always rent it out to farm ground, make some money on it. Anyone have any questions? I think this is the first reading, so if you have some questions or something you see that doesn't look right to you, bring it up now. We'll try to get that answered or changed.
When it's finally developed as a park, will that be rezoned from agriculture to something?
The agricultural designation, has exceptions that are built into that zone, and one of those exceptions is park.
So if that's what it's used for, it wouldn't have to be rezoned if it was used for something different.
So, and I thought, well, we may be several years, get the money to develop, so we could, once we get it cleaned up and run, we can, hopefully lease it out to some farmer, fresh crop farm.
So you're saying, Mr. it can be zoned for 2 things, agricultural or parks?
Well, so actually, this total property, the ordinance proposes it being zoned in 3 different types.
Okay.
Business, commercial, a little strip at the front, like for some retail type businesses. Behind that, industrial, and then the big part to the side, agricultural,
Okay.
because that's what he's saying. At this point, that plan is longer term.
Okay.
So we were trying to come up with a way that the initial planning, that the zoning would be appropriate. Obviously, zoning can change in the future if it needs to.
I just didn't hear that commercial part.
Yeah, and if you look at that very back page, you got the commercial right there, and then industrial, and then agricultural to the side.
Thank you, ma'am.
Is there any way that we can get a bigger version of that for people that have one?
Get what?
So, yes.
A bigger.
We have it. I mean, the surveyor has sent, a electronic file. When you print it out, it does look funny. I can email it out to you all, or how
I can zoom in too.
Yeah, I can email it to you for sure, and you can zoom. When you zoom it in on a electronic device, it's a lot clearer.
I may try to get some larger credit
Or
cards.
either just turn.
I don't know if
Just turn this way.
a little bit.
Yeah.
bigger.
He didn't, he gave, I think I have, I'm pretty sure I have the large one, and I need to deliver it to you at my office of the full thing, but not of the zoning delineation, but we can get that for sure.
Austin can get those.
Yeah,
He lives up in this area, so he can drop them off probably. If he can't, I can go get them, send somebody out. I'll get y'all some copies. I'm not sure I can get them to you, but I'll get some have them down here.
well, I mean, I can send it by email, I think I have, but, I mean, you all have it on the email, I've emailed it to, but I can send electronic file to everybody's email that I have.
If there's no questions on that, we'll move on. All right, we'll have second reading next month. Thank you. Resolutions, we don't have any this month. Municipal orders, we have none this month. New business, anyone have some new business?
Did you ever find out about fire chief being a part-time salary employee?
We asked that question. Maggie, I hate to ask you because you're not, but I think you're the one I asked about that.
I remember asking Megan about Ed's training.
Megan, I think, did we talk? Did Megan ever get back with us on that?
I don't know that we ever approached Megan with that question because we weren't sure if Jay was even interested.
Well, that's what I don't know that it would be legal, you know, and I think I asked Megan.
I remember asking Megan most recently about whether it was any kind of issue for Ed to be codes and zoning, and whether there were any training requirements for codes, and the answer was no, all around, there's no issue, and no, there is no training requirement. But I don't remember, unless you specifically asked her, I don't remember asking her, because we hadn't talked to Jay.
To be honest with you, I think I am one that asked her, just to see what other cities were doing, right? In that situation, because there's a lot of people have, you know, a part-time fire chief, right? A lot of cities, in a volunteer department. And I don't think I followed up with it. She didn't call me back with it, but I will put it here on my list to follow up on it.
Do I need to wait till you find that out before I make a motion or a raise to him? Pending, can I make that motion pending here?
Well, let me find out if it's legal. I don't know. If you
I don't even know what
counsel?
we're talking about.
Well, what he asked was about the fire chief is kind of considered a part-time employee of the city, right? And we can only pay up to $8,000 a year, or the state considers that,
Yeah,
you know.
benefits.
So Jeff's question was, could we do it in another way? Could we have that employee in a different way that did not affect him adversely, he or she adversely, tax-wise or otherwise, you know, different things.
I think how they've been getting around that was administrative role, because he's in an administrative role more than he's a fire chief, but they get away with that by doing administrative roles.
So you're talking about just changing the title altogether?
Still does the job he's doing, but he's just an administrative role for the fire department.
I'll ask.
I think we need to look into that. I mean, my understanding is that there is a limit on, I don't think it matters what role you're in, but for state benefit purposes, you're limited on the amount of time. And if you go beyond that, then
I think so.
we just need to look into that. I mean, I would want to make sure that we want to get clarity on that before we do making kind of motions, because that's making me think, I'm feeling like we probably would have something we need to deal with there.
If you don't mind, would you look into it, because I'll feel better about it if you did. I'll be honest, I promise. I'll help.
Yes. So, but just to be clear, well, maybe we can maybe discuss it.
That, we'll look into it and see. I don't know the answer to that. I know what that particular statute says, but I don't know that there's another alternative. Any other new business? All right, that opens us up for public comments. Is there any public comments tonight?
Two things. First off, down by the dog park, people have been asking and want me to bring it up about it's really been bad down there with the mosquitoes and the fleas. Really bad. So I was wondering if there was anything you guys, do like spraying or something. And the second thing is about that divot in the road on Rainwood, where when they tore it up to put in the bigger drainage pipes, it's still got, when they put the asphalt over it, I mean, it's got a divot about like that. So I don't know if you guys plan on repatching it or maybe digging it up and putting concrete so it doesn't flow down again.
Yeah. Well, the idea was to let it settle a little more and then just actually mill it down and put a new surface on it.
Yeah, 'cause it keeps settling,
Yeah.
It's been, like with everybody driving over, it's pretty well compacted.
Yeah.
It is getting pretty deep.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe it slows people down. Thank you.
We did fall, what was it, 10 days ago?
Pardon me?
They did fall from mosquitoes. It hadn't been grown on at all.
But I think you're right. I've had other people tell me, Paul, that the mosquitoes have gotten bad down in that area again. So, but it hadn't been 2 weeks yet since we followed.
And you have to have dry weather, the whole day.
Right.
In order for that to be effective, otherwise it won't.
They got a 7-day gestation cycle on mosquitoes, so it don't take long to get a new crop.
Do they treat it down there for fleas or anything? Do we treat it down there for fleas or anything?
For fleas?
Dog park?
I never have. Now, we spray for mosquitoes, things like that, but I've never treated it for fleas.
I mean, I know there's this big bag that I get at Walmart and treat my yard just a couple times a year.
We might try to do that.
And, it really helps a whole lot.
So have you had people complain about that down there?
Now, I haven't heard about the fleas, but
I haven't had anybody complain to me, but most of the people that had dogs down there probably had flea treatments on their dogs and they're not getting on them properly. We can look into that though, because it's a pretty simple thing.
Yeah, it's not very expensive.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
Mike, on that fall beds, remember when we first got that thing, it would fall, that's just a spray. It would fall up everything, and there's something on that thing that's a brand new fall bed, it ought to do better than that. It ought to just fall up and you can't see.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Is
Well,
there something that other cities are doing, or they can tell us information on how to fall up for
Oh, yeah,
Because remember we went over Ryan McGee's house?
Yeah.
It fall all the way over to the school.
Well, on certain nights, you can still see it look like that at now. But it kind of depends on the humidity and how things are working, whether you even see it or not very well. If it's the moon's out, if it's not, you know what I'm saying? It's different nights, you can see it better than you can the other. But if you just drive and look real close, you can see it lingering up there. That's when it's really doing some good.
Like rain's been an issue this year, standing water everywhere, mosquitoes are bad everywhere.
Well, I'm just saying how the machine run. Not necessarily
We
mosquitoes.
were at the fire station the other night when they come by and fogged all around.
It fogged all.
It fogged the entire parking lot.
I did.
We had to move out of the parking lot because we couldn't breathe.
We just had that machine calibrated.
Did you have?
We get it calibrated once a year. And more than we need. So
It's coming down Hill Street, I can't see it.
Yeah.
I mean, sitting at the fire station, you probably can fog everything.
Well, all the street lights around the fire station, you can see the fog going all the way across the parking lot there. Where in a darker area, you may not notice it.
You can't look from inside the house now, you gotta get out there.
Right, I do, when they're doing it, I stand there, that's what.
They look too like a chandelier.
I mean, if it's just sitting there looking at you, I mean, I can see how it's fogging up and everything.
Paul, we'll try this week, I'm sorry, Paul, I didn't.
Cause I got a hand fogger, you can't see nothing when you use this. Hey, it fogs everything. You can, but that fogger we got, I mean,
mosquitoes. James, I think, has plans maybe one night this week to try it fall again. Depending on weather, you know, how it works out. We can't do it before dark, you know, we have to do it after dark.
Right. Thank you.
It answers your question. All right. Any other public comments? Hearing none, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor? That seems unanimous. Opposed likewise. That was unanimous.
Maggie, cut the cake, we're hungry.
Finish, Maggie.
Oh, I noticed. Hey,
You gave that.
the light above your head's falling.
It's what?
The light above your head is falling out of the ceiling.
It's what doing what?
I can't see it looking under me.
That spotlight is
It's
over there.
this light falling out of the ceiling. Oh, man.
Oh, that one. Oh, that's good.
Oh, yes, you go.
The water's hanging out.
That's good. Look up.
The one that has a hole.
Look up. No, this
Recess.
I need to put that paper away.
one. It's falling out of the ceiling.
What is?
The light.
What y'all do?
He can't find her.
I didn't know
He
it.
ain't looking right like this. The can light, like, I don't know, Heather.
Yeah, I see it now.